The Niners and Raiders will face each other tomorrow. What exactly should we expect in that game? Plus, the single most disrespected 49er, and he'll tell you that himself. All coming up on today's Gold Standard Podcast. What is good, everybody? Welcome to another Gold Standard podcast. Part of the Pro Football Insiders. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. It is Friday. Michelle Majuk is here after a week away. So good to have you back, Michelle.
Hey, Vegas happened last weekend. I was supposed to go see Kelly Clarkson. She canceled, but I still had a great time.
She canceled?
Well, I mean, her ex-husband died, and that's her kid's dad. So it was understandable.
So did you get your money back? How's that work?
No, she rescheduled for July of 2026. $1,400 just being held hostage.
Oh, man. See, you went to Vegas on the wrong weekend. You should go to Vegas this weekend so you could have seen Niners Raiders.
I should have, yes. But I will be going to LA to see the 49ers, an actual real, life game, not a preseason game.
You're going?
Yes, I am.
That is awesome. Okay.
I booked the flight. I'm going.
Very good. That is excellent news. We're going to talk about Niners Raiders and what we expect. We're going to talk about actually multiple disrespected 49ers. I'll get to that a little bit later on. But Kyle Shanahan said it yesterday, and if you missed it, I'll play it for you. He wants to get the starters some reps in the game. Here is Kyle.
Not get enough work today where you won't play him on Saturday, or
I'd like Brock to play. We'll see how. I haven't decided anything for sure yet. We'll watch this tape, but I plan on getting these starters going. There might be a couple guys I rest, but there's not a lot of, especially on the defense, there's not a lot of healthy starters as it is. But I'll figure that out here in the next 24 hours. But I plan on some starters to play.
So some starters are going to play. Good. First of all, he almost has to because, like he said, they're running out of healthy people. Beyond the starter. I mean, everybody is freaking hurt on this team, but I wanted to see the starters play. I'm glad they're going to play because I think they need to.
They absolutely. Well, this is what's interesting. I feel like a lot of times once they do the joint practices, this actually, like week 2, week 3 used to be the huge weeks, right, for the starters to play. But now that they're doing joint practices, it seems like coaches prefer to get their starter reps there, and then they still rest them during the preseason game. I mean, I guess selfishly as fans, we just want to be able to see it, right? Like, I know they've been getting a lot of reps against another defense, but I want to see them out there in an actual game. Give them a series or two. I say don't play Trent, don't play George Kittle, but put out Brock Purdy, put out Ricky Pearsall, and let's get some starters out there.
Yeah, Kyle didn't play Trent in the joint practice, and he was basically like, he has his own rules. He essentially called him like the 37-year-old rules for Trent Williams, but he brought up a good point. Like, because he's Trent Williams, anybody that goes up against him, especially in a joint practice, wants to go all out and make a name for themselves by beating on Trent Williams. So they go extra hard against him. And Kyle's like, he doesn't really need to be doing that at this point. So I kind of understand that, but I do want to see Ricky Pearsall, especially. I am so high on Ricky Pearsall this year. He had another good practice, a joint practice yesterday. He was beating people down the field. I continue to say Pearsall is going to go for 1,200 yards if he plays a full season. Brock said yesterday, literally, he's our starter. I'm going to feed him, and I look forward to it.
Oh, I'm loving that because I've been, hyping him up for fantasy. So now I'm all in on this Ricky Pearsall bandwagon, 100%, because I've been on board with telling everyone to reach on drafting him because he's going so late, and I have him on some of my teams that I've already drafted. So very excited, but they need him. They need him to step up and be that guy, and that will be the difference between if this offense can get back to top 5 form or if they're just mediocre again like last year.
I want to see what it looks like if you have Brock and Pearsall and CMC and Kittle. Because that should be enough to be especially with Kyle calling plays, that should be enough. And I also really want to see McCaffrey out there. Again, another guy, all the reports are good. He looks fantastic. I'd like to see it with my own eyes instead of having to judge off of what other people say. But I think if you have that, you're going to be fine. I know that the other wide receiver is a question mark. I totally get that. But those are the side dishes. What are we talking about? CMC, Kittle, Pearsall. We're talking about option 4 on offense. Am I really going to sweat that much about whoever option 4 is?
As long as Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey are healthy, that should be plenty enough for this offense to thrive, right? And yes, you need other complementary pieces, but Demarcus Robinson, when he's back from his suspension, like that's your guy. Yeah, they're going to need some competent people. You can't just throw out terrible players that the defense is not worried about in the slightest. But yeah, we shouldn't be all that worried about our fifth target on the team.
Flynn West says, Michelle is back. Missed you, Michelle. We had
you guys.
Dieter Kurtenbach was in here for you last week, who I am a fan of Dieter, but he's no Mimosa Michelle, which, by the way, do you have your mimosa today?
So yeah. I just got it delivered by my wife while I was talking. Did you guys hear?
No, that was super sneaky.
I didn't have one at first, and I just got one delivered.
The only thing better than a mimosa is getting a mimosa delivered that you didn't even make.
It's fantastic. So good.
Monkey Boy 12th says Purdy doesn't need in this game, but why risk someone like Crosby? I'd rather have Jones for 2.5, 3 quarters to see what depth we have at wide receiver, tight end, as third and fourth quarterbacks aren't giving them a chance. Yeah, that was something we saw last week. Connor Bradley and Tanner Mordecai at quarterback were putrid to the point where they could not even let us see the other players on the offense that were in the game. That's how bad they were. So give me Brock, give me Mac Jones, and let me at least be able to watch some of these skill players.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficult part, right? Like if you have these quarterbacks in who just cannot give an accurate ball to anyone, it's like these poor kids at receiver, trying to make the team, trying to show something. They can make a great move, a great route, get away from their defender, and it doesn't really matter because it doesn't all click together because the quarterback's so bad. But also, I don't know like how long you can play the only viable backup either, right? Because if you throw out Mac Jones out there for 3 quarters and he gets hurt because he played too long in a preseason game, it's like, well, now what do? You don't even have a backup on your team that you could trust to put out there for even a quarter of a regular season game.
Carter Bradley. I think I said Connor Bradley. Sorry about that. And I'm going to rip on you. I might as well get your name correct. Wedge Antilles asks, how many series would you give? So that is the question, right? I would say 2 series. Yep. Brock, Kittle, CMC, 2 series. That's it. And if one of them is short, that's okay too. Because sometimes Kyle gets into that trap where he's like, well, we got to do a certain number of plays. I say no. 2 series. If one of them is a 12-play drive, great. If you go 3 and out, tough. But get him in, get him out. For all this fear of injury that we have, they're getting hurt in practice anyway. Every time the 49ers do football activities, somebody gets hurt. So it's not even like, well, if we don't play them in the game, they're going to be fine. Because even yesterday, they lost another starter, and CJ West is going to be out for a week.
Yeah, anything's apparently better than their practice field. That's for sure. But there's other quarterbacks who play around the league. If Joe Burrow can play, if Patrick Mahomes can play, then Brock Purdy can get out there. Like, yeah, everyone's worried about anyone getting injured. But also, I'll say, like, it shouldn't be a set amount of drives. I don't love that. Maybe a set amount of plays around-ish. But let's say, they get the ball at the 20 and he drives them down like methodically. And it's like a 10-play drive. They score they score a touchdown at the end. It's a perfect drive. There's no reason to put him back out there. There's just not, right? So I think it all just depends on how the first drive goes, what's happening at the time, how many plays he had on that first drive, and then you go from there. And if after 2 drives you have a 3 and out, that doesn't mean you're done either. Like, keep going then. Like, I want you to keep practicing until you show me something.
Give me the one long drive right off the bat, and then maybe you're right. Maybe we don't have to worry. Lionheart says, hey guys, happy Friday. Yay. Did y'all watch The Build? The Build is this like episode that the 49ers put out. It was basically kind of like a behind the scenes of the first preseason game. I've watched some of it. I haven't watched all of it. But I'm always very skeptical of those because it's all heavily edited. It's all, PR spin essentially from the team. So I will watch it, but I don't expect to gain any, anything interesting from it.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of it. So, but maybe I'll go watch it.
Sean Merlin, YouTube channel member. Shout out to Sean and all our YouTube channel members. Says, couldn't catch you live until today, but wanted to say that, Rob, your take on wings is spot on. I've been cooking for over 20 years. Everybody needs to knock the rust off. So I said that lemon pepper wings are trash. I think lemon pepper is like overrated wing flavor, like would never order it. And people came at me in the mentions.
What's so weird is that I just like lemon pepper has never been a flavor that I ever even thought of. And then all of a sudden I feel like maybe it's gotten big, but one of my friends is really into it. And I'm like, this is weird. But then I did try them a couple weeks ago and they're really, really good. It was the first time I ever tried them. I thought they were great with ranch. Like you need something to balance it out. If you're not dipping it in something, I could see how it'd be way too like tart. But with the ranch, it goes really well.
I did not. It was like they dragged it through the dirt before they brought it to me. I did not enjoy it at all. But apparently I'm in the minority because people were coming at me. So Monkey Boy 12 says, a few years ago, we had a running back hurt their leg just by standing up from a chair. We need a shaman to bless the apparent Native American burial ground that's under Levi's.
Something has to be wrong with the field, like something or something. Like there's no way that all these players are getting hurt year after year after year after year after year.
I will say that there are other teams around the league that are canceling their joint practices. So it is the 49ers have had a ton of injuries. Yes, they at least had 2 joint practices this year. Other teams have canceled some of theirs. So I don't know if it's a thing that's going around. I have no idea. But regardless, it's incredibly annoying. So I definitely want to see Pearsall. I want to see Christian McCaffrey out there too. And obviously Brock, because this team needs to hit the ground running. I was trying to think of this today, Michelle, and I want your honest answer. And I don't even know where I come down on this. What is the identity of this 49ers team? Are they a running team? Are they a passing team? Are they a offensive team? Or are they a defensive team? Like, I don't know the answer to those questions.
I think there's only one answer to the question. They have to be an offensive team. Looking at this defense, I've already been scared of this defense, right? There's already, the depth is scary. The players at the top, besides Fred Warner and Lenore and Bosa, it's a big risk, right? Across everywhere, you're just a lot of hope, a lot of projection, a lot of, well, if they can do this or if they can hit, it's already risky. And now everyone's getting hurt already. So it's like the defensive side is scaring the crap out of me. The fact that they only had 3 healthy starters in their joint practice in 3, and one of them being D Winters. I'm sorry, that's like not an important. He somehow is important to this team, but he shouldn't be. That's what's already scary. But he's one of your 3 healthy starters. I'm happy Fred Warner and Lenore are out there, but we need these young guys that are expected to be starters out there healthy, and they're not even able to practice together right now. So they have to be an offensive team. Like this offense is going to have to put up 28 plus points per game to be a team that's going to actually push to make the playoffs and actually push to make a playoff run.
You would think that when you look at all the names on offense, like Purdy, established player, Kittle, CMC, Jennings, maybe Pearsall. He's not established yet, but Trent Williams, obviously, like all the big names, really, most of them are on offense. So you would think they would be an offensive team. But I was so encouraged by what I saw on Saturday last week against the Broncos from the defense, from Robert Saleh, scheming stuff and actually making quarterbacks look a little bit confused out there on the field. Imagine that. Now, obviously, it's the first preseason game, all of that stuff. But I was like, if these if some of these rookie players are good, maybe Saleh can kind of, boost them up. We always talk about like the Shanahan advantage he gives the offense, right? Maybe Saleh can make these guys a little better than they normally would be if somebody like a Nick Sorensen was calling the defense and calling the plays. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that Saleh can maybe work a little magic here defensively.
He's going to have to. What I did find interesting, I went and looked at the PFF grades from the preseason week 1, and listen, I know there's some issues with PFF grades. They're not always like 100% tell the whole story, whatever. But I do like to compare the grades to other players, right, across the league in the same, the same week, the same rookies, right, at the same position. So I just wanted to see how Alfred Collins and CJ West ranked among the other rookie defensive tackles. So there's 26 rookie defensive tackles that played at least 25 snaps in preseason week 1. And they ranked 23rd and 24th out of those 26 rookie defensive tackles in defensive grade during that game. So not great, that's for sure, because, it was pitiful scoring, 40.6 and 40.1. And then you look at Nick Morton, the linebacker, he got a 31 defensive grade. That was 28th out of 30 rookie linebackers with at least 25 snaps. So among the other rookies, they graded out very, very, very poorly. Again, the tiniest of sample size, 1 week. It could completely change next week, but just something I wanted to point out.
The Nick Martin, I mean, I watched every snap of that game multiple times. He had a rough game. There was a screen pass where they throw it out to the running back, and he comes up and he's there, and all of a sudden the running back makes a move and he completely whiffs. Doesn't even touch him, just air. It was so bad. Even the crowd was like, oh, it was a rough time. You know what it was with Nick Martin? He was out of control. You know, Robert Saleh always likes to talk all gas, no brakes. I think what was happening was he wasn't recognizing what was happening quick enough. So he was like a little late. Then once he recognized it, he was like, oh crap, now I have to fly over there because I'm late. And he's fast, but he was so out of control when he got to where he needed to go. He couldn't make tackles. He missed multiple tackles in the game. It was a rough debut.
And they need, like, this is the type of players they need to hit. Like, normally in normal offseason for the 49ers, Nick Martin would just be a luxury piece, right? Like, if he hits cool. We have our guys. Like, this is not a guy fighting for a starting job, not a guy we're going to have to rely on at all. At this point, no, like, it's D. Winters and Fred Warner, right? But like but still they need the depth, and he's probably going to have to play in some regular season games. Like, they need him to play some snaps. So I'm really, really worried about this defense. That's all I got to say. They don't even have any starting safeties right now.
Well, it's just, yeah. Well, one of the things I was encouraged was Marquise Siegel. He was playing great, and then he got hurt, but he's back now. So hopefully another guy I want to see out there tomorrow for sure. Can he, build and stack on the performance? D. Winters is another guy that is getting like training camp hero. Everybody is just heaping praise on D. Winters, how good he looks, how he's really taken over the spot. Obviously, we talked about Nick Martin's struggles, so maybe that has more to do with D. Winters taking over the spot than anything else. We'll have to see. But if Winters can be good, we know Fred's going to be good. We know Bosa is going to be good, assuming he's healthy. He has a neck thing now. He's going to be out for a week. So that's another thing to give me agita as we go through this. And when you look at the list of the quarterbacks that the 49ers are going to be playing, that is another thing that makes me, a little less scared about this defense. If we were facing the schedule from 2024, I would be a lot more terrified. But I mean, if you just look at the list of the quarterbacks, it's not exactly a murderer's row. A lot like the list of the quarterbacks the Washington Commanders faced last year, and they all got all the way to the NFC Championship game. So the combination of those two things makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, I mean, for the first 3 games, maybe, but once you do get to Jacksonville, I know, like, we both don't like Trevor Lawrence, but there's still good wide receivers there. He could still get it done. Once you get to the Rams, who knows with Stafford's health, but the Rams would be a really hard game against Puka and Devontae Adams. The Buccaneers have like 5 wide receivers that might be better than the 49ers' second best wide receiver on the team, right? And maybe 3 that are better than their 1. And then Atlanta, you got Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Houston, they stacked back up with their wide receivers. The Giants, you have to deal with Malik Neighbors, and then the Rams again. Like, the first 3 weeks, sure, but you go through that list, and all of a sudden, it's like you could see where this secondary could start to have some issues.
I actually, again, health is the biggest part of this. I actually like the night. If you give me Renardo Green, Diamador Lenore, and Upton Stout, I think that's 3 pretty good corners. I'm at corner, the secondary, I'm a little more reassured about than I was to start the year, just because of all the hype we've been getting on Upton Stout.
But what happens if the safeties are so bad that it's just like ruining everything?
That's definitely a factor for sure. And there's,
like, it doesn't really matter how good of a corner you are if you're not getting the pressure up front, right? If it's only Nick Bosa again, and they're able to get the ball out, hold the ball for a while, and let their wide receivers keep running routes for 3+ seconds, like that's hard on any corner. And then if their safeties aren't helping them out behind, they can make them look worse. Like, it doesn't really matter how good you are of a player if the pieces around you are really, really lacking.
That was another thing I was encouraged about against the Broncos, was that Saleh was dialing up pressures that weren't Nick Bosa, because obviously Bosa wasn't out there. He was bringing guys on a corner blitz. He was stunting defensive linemen, creating free rushes at the quarterback. All stuff you need to do to generate freaking pressure instead of just having 4 linemen rush just straight ahead and just praying that Nick Bosa can beat his guy or the 2 guys, because usually he was double teamed. So I agree with everything you said. I just hope that the Niners defense continues to look the way it looked on Saturday, because it was a unit, and we did a film breakdown yesterday for anyone that wants to go check that out. Not now.
This is our time.
But it's up there. It was a defense that was complementing each other. The secondary coverages were complementing the pass rush. The pass rush was helping to make up for some mistakes in the secondary. The way a real defense should actually run, as opposed to the vanilla milquetoast garbage we got last year.
And I really hope Geno Smith and the Raiders starters play. I want to see the defense.
Yes.
Even if there's a lot of pieces missing on the 49ers defensive side, I don't care. These guys need to get real-time action against starters. And they did play last weekend, right? So I'm wondering if because they played week 1 and then they had these joint practices, maybe they won't play him this week. But I hope we get to see Geno Smith out there. Jacoby Myers is a solid enough wide receiver to put some pressure on the secondary. They have 2 young guys, and Deontay Thornton, that I heard Fred Warner blew up.
Yeah, he likes to do that.
Yeah. Rookie learned his place for a second there. Jack Besh. And then obviously Brock Bowers they have to cover. And then put out Ashton Junty out there too. And let's see how this run defense is doing.
Yep.
So there's definitely the Raiders aren't the most stacked offense in the world, but they have pieces. And if they put them out there, I think that'll be a good showing to see where this defense is standing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was we were happy what we saw last week, because the Broncos played a lot of their ones. It was Bo Nix out there. It was Cortland Sutton. It was a lot of their top players on offense. So to see the Niners defense, have some success was all right, this is more encouraging than if it was just, Jared Stidham and other guys. And now Jared Stidham ended up kind of cooking them a little bit, because the Niners' second and third stringers are dicey, but we'll see. I've been trying to search really quick whether Geno was going to play or not. I haven't seen anything definitive one way or the other. I hope he does. I don't even know who's the backup quarterback with Las Vegas. Do you even know off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
Is it Gardner Minshew? Is he still there?
I don't know if he's still there.
It is. Hang on. Oh, Aiden O'Connell. Oh, yeah.
I definitely knew that. That was so stupid. Yes.
Yeah, I should have known that. It's weird why you see a name and you're like, what the hell's the matter with
I 100% knew it was Aiden O'Connell. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm. You just wanted to make me look it up, didn't you?
No, I'm stupid, I guess.
Somebody mentioned playing George Kittle, and I saw this before we started, and I know I said I was going to not talk about rankings, but this just makes no sense to me. The NFL Top 100 list is the dumbest list. For anyone that says, well, if you never played, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't talk about it. If you never played, only people that played know, right? Denzel Washington has that viral clip that's going on right now talking about, complaining about people that talk about sports, because if you never played, then you don't know what you're talking about. The NFL Top 100 is a list made up of football players by football players. They're the only ones that rank the top 100 players. Last year, George Kittle was 14 on the top 100 list. This year, despite playing less games, despite having more catches, more yards, and more touchdowns, George Kittle went down 17 spots on the list and is 31 this year.
What's so funny is that it is ranked by the players. They don't have time to watch these other guys. They're only thinking about the guys they faced that had good or bad games, right? If they had a bad game against them, if they had a good game. And how many of these guys say, oh, I don't watch football. They don't care to watch football outside of their, the film breakdown or whatever. They don't know what's going on at all across the league. It's so funny that people are like, well, the football players would know. No, they are playing the games at the same time as these other guys. They are busy as hell during the end season. They don't really know what's going on across the league except for the team that they're facing. And if they face that player that year, and again, if that player had a good or bad game that game, it's just silly. The whole thing's silly. The fact that Tua made the list and not the amount of people I could go through and say they made the list and not Brock Purdy. It's embarrassing. Entirely embarrassing. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can't talk too badly about this top 100. I just realized, but not ideal.
Well, it's not the NFL Network's fault that the players are not doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Don't worry. ESPN doesn't care.
Shut up.
Anyway, I had to get that in there. let's move on to another underappreciated 49er, this one on the defensive side of the ball, and that is Diamador Lenore. He gave an interview with Richard Sherman recently, and Sherman was like, hey, what are your expectations? He was like, I want to be the best corner in the league. He is really damn good. And he talked about, how he's underappreciated. The Madden game is coming out, and I think his rating in the Madden game is like 82 or 83. It's like super low. It's low 80s. And Lenore even said it himself. He's given up 3 touchdowns in 5 years or something like that. Why are people not giving Diamador Lenore the respect he deserves?
Yeah, he gave up 0 touchdowns last year. Maybe it's because he doesn't come up with enough splashy plays, right? He's not a huge interception guy. He's not a big personality either. I feel like on the field, like he just kind of
is
on the field.
I mean, he certainly talks off the field.
Well, you don't see him like really like making noise. Like he just kind of does his job. He does his job really, really well. I think he's super solid. Would I put him as a top 5 corner in the league? No, but I do think he is a really good cornerback 1, and they have him on a nice deal. And I think he's a great piece to have. Last year, he did allow the 10th lowest passer rating in coverage. And, the guys above him are all pretty solid names with some rookies in there too that have a lot of upside. But I don't know. Like, what is his Madden grade? 80, what? 82?
Whoa, wait, I think it's 82.
I don't think that's that crazy. They're not like Madden grades. It's really, really hard to get high. You have to be like one of the elite star names to have like a super high 90.
Yeah, it's 82. I mean, damn, 82.
I got to see the other grades of the other corners. Like, where does he rank around?
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen the other list. If the best corner in the game is 85, I mean, I guess that looks a lot better. I'm sure that's not the case. But I'm actually...
The best corner could be like 91, though, right?
True. Yeah.
And then I don't think 82 is all that crazy. I get hit like maybe the higher 80s would make us feel better. 88, maybe like 87. But it's not like an outrageous thing to me.
When you don't allow a touchdown, like, damn, man, it's hard to be better than that. And the fact that he's only allowed 3 and 5 years, if you have more years played than touchdowns allowed, that's pretty damn good.
Well, he didn't allow any last year. I didn't say ever.
No, I know, but I think he said he's only allowed 3 and 5 years or something like that. I want to see them use him, just line him up and let him follow the number 1. I think he's that good. You mentioned the list of the wide receivers they're going to play this year, and some of them are daunting. Throw him on. Let him travel. He said he wants to do it. He's willing to do it. I think he's that good. Let him move around and do your thing, man. And, we might have to do this. I don't know that the defense is good necessarily to just line up all the time and do your thing no matter what. Like, sometimes you got to leverage some of the pieces that you have. He's one of them. And I think he wants to do it. Like, he talks so much trash about everybody in the offseason. Let him back it up, man.
I think what's really interesting is that he does get targeted a lot. And so teams are targeting him, but he's doing a really good job limiting like I said, like he's the only guy that saw over 70 targets in coverage last year to not allow a touchdown. Cooper DeJean was the actually only other corner to have 70 on the dot is what Cooper DeJean had, 70 targets to have 0. So it is really impressive what he's doing. And like his snap per target rate is actually pretty high. Like he's one of the highest in the league where teams are targeting him, but his snap per reception rate is super low. He's 8th best in the league. So, let teams keep trying to target him. He's doing a really good job stopping it. So I do find that extra interesting. And now I'm saying, yeah, he does deserve like the 86, 87.
There you go. And apparently, Chris says that Sauce Gardner is a 97 in Madden. So there are some highly rated corners. That's interesting. I wonder if like other teams around the league necessarily aren't, they think Lenore is maybe worse than he is. So they're like, oh, we'll go, especially because, last year's starter was Renardo Green or maybe Charvarius Ward. Maybe they didn't want to go at Charvarius Ward, but he did not have a great year last year for a variety of reasons.
I will say though, like, I just think it's harder to make a name for yourself where people respect you faster. Like in a few years, if Diamador Lenore keeps this up, he's going to be a household name. Everyone's going to know him. It's the fact that he was drafted, 5th round? And, guys like Sauce Gardner drafted top,
Round one.
yeah, and not even just run, like really early in the draft. What he was like 4th overall or something super high. So
he was 4th. Good call.
yeah, thank you. And when you are drafted so highly and have these expectations, and you had such a good year to start your career too, like Lenore started slowly. So that's the case too. When you're a late round pick, you start slowly. It takes a lot longer for people to realize how good you have gotten, especially when you're just like not like this big personality. So I think it'll just take time, right? He needs a year or two more of this type of efficiency, and people will start to respect his name.
John Shoup says, Michelle, I'm drinking a beer in Prague for you. Cheers.
Cheers. Hi, John.
We have been going international on the show the last few days. It's been awesome. We were getting people watching from Japan. We got people watching from Germany. We had people watching from a bunch of different places. I'm still amazed by that. I think that's really cool, especially when you factor in all the time differences and everything.
Yeah, he's drinking at a normal time right now. It's about 7 p.m. in Prague, and I'm drinking at my time, 11:48 a.m.
Yeah. And if we were doing the show at 9:48 a.m., you'd be drinking then too.
Oh yeah, baby. Got to get my mimosa in.
So I just wanted to give Diamador Lenore a little love because I think he's really good. Gameplan.exe on Twitch says, Demo made a big jump last year under Sorensen. How much better will he be under Robert Saleh? Hopefully much better. I'm hoping that a rising tide lifts all boats. Now, I don't love the fact that CJ West was injured. You know, another of our defensive linemen that's hurt. I don't think Michael Williams is going to play. He didn't practice. He hasn't practiced all week. So I don't think that they're just going to throw him back in the game. But I really want to see all of them together and all of the pieces because I like the stuff that Saleh has been doing where he's been putting like Nick Bosa and Bryce Huff on the same side of the field. So the offensive line is all focused on one side, and then he's been blitzing the corner off the other side. Like, I just like all the creative things that he's been doing. He's been dictating to the offense as opposed to the other way around. But I feel like he can't do that at his best unless all the healthy bodies are there. And now we're going to have to wait even longer because CJ freaking West is hurt.
Yeah. And if like not being able to see Michael Williams is a really big disappointment.
Yep.
You want to see more out of Bryce Huff moving forward. Hopefully he gets some snaps. I will say moving back to I was saying, don't play Trent Williams, right? Even if you play your starters. I was reading The Athletic, and one of the pieces mentioned that the rookie tackle Connor Colby is really making a good name for himself here. And Purdy's talking him up and Shanahan's talking him up. He was just a 7th round pick. I will say though, if this guy hits and he makes a roster and he's actually able to be valuable to this team, are they going to just only take Iowa products from now on? Like I get Purdy was Iowa State, but just Iowa schools. That's what you go with in the 7th round from now on. But let's see him out there because that's what they desperately need is depth, right? At tackle, especially if he can really outperform what they thought he could be and surprise us. That'd be a huge step to have if there were to be any injuries.
Their offensive line really needs the help. I think Colby is a guard. I think they've been playing. I don't know. I can't remember if he's a guard.
Why do I think he was a tackle?
I just want to double check, but I know he's.
The Athletic called him a tackle. They said rookie tackle, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I could be wrong. But for some reason, maybe I'm confusing him with Drew Moss, who's the other guy that they like on the offensive line.
I would be sad if it was a guard. I mean, guards are good. We need guards too, but I would love just a surprise tackle that they got in the 7th round, just actually showing up and being great. He's annoyingly listed as offensive line on the roster for the 49ers. Yeah. So he must play both. He must do both guard and tackle.
Let's see. I'm just looking at the article. 7th round rookie Connor Colby has looked good recently and might end up providing depth at guard this season. So I think he's primarily been at guard. I know they like Spencer Burford as the backup left tackle and Austin Pleasance as the backup right tackle. But with Ben Barch, another starter, getting hurt, there's opportunities at left guard, a starting job at left guard. So whether it's Drew Moss, whether it's Connor Colby, it's not going to be Nick Zakelj because that guy stinks. There's opportunities on the offensive line, and they seem to have gotten good reviews after the Broncos game. So let me see it again because we're all puckered at the offensive line depth. We're puckered about some of the receiver situations right now. I would like to be able to exhale a little.
What position do you feel good about right now?
I feel good about running. Well, no. No. Linebacker, no. Corner. That's pretty much it. Fullback? Yes. Heineman on Twitch says fullback. Yes, I agree.
What are your thoughts on the running back situation? Because I know you love some Jordan James.
I know he's hurt though.
He's hurt, and the undrafted guy is balling out.
Yeah, Corey Kiner. I actually liked what I saw from him. Like when I watched him run against the Broncos, I was like, that looks like a solid backup running back. Like
But
that.
do they keep 4? Because Jordan James could be cut if he can't prove, and this undrafted guy is doing better.
Garendo, like all Garendo does is get hurt. He has been so unreliable. But I wonder if they go McCaffrey, Garendo, they put Jordan James on like PUP to start the year, so he misses the first 4 weeks just so they can stash him without having to cut him. And then they keep Corey Kiner also. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they want to try and sneak anybody through waivers. They're going to have some interesting decisions when it comes to him. Sebastian Valdez, the defensive lineman, is a guy that I don't think they're going to be able to sneak through waivers. One of these offensive linemen, maybe we'll see what they decide to do there. But we know they're getting down to running back 4 because they get down to running back 4 in the depth chart every year. So you better have 4 good ones.
That's true. Now, how long is Jordan Watkins going to be out?
He had a high ankle sprain. They said about a month. I don't know that was a firm deadline. I know he was walking without a walking boot or anything, so maybe that's a good sign. But that's the timetable is about a month, give or take. So we'll see. There's no timeline for Juwan Jennings. We don't know how much. At least
Jacob Cowing returned to practice. We'll see how long that lasts for.
Right, and he's another guy this Saturday. Like, please, Jacob Cowing. First of all, we were begging for you to get on the field last year. You couldn't get on the field. At least in the preseason, like Jacob Cowing is a guy, play him the whole game, right? He can't get enough snaps. So they're not going to do that, but I want to see that badly too, because we were all kind of, hoping to see more of him last year and we didn't get the chance. And then he got hurt in like the first rep of the first practice of the offseason.
And I'm kind of annoyed with Juwan Jennings too. Like I'm just thinking about this wide receiver group going through it. It's like, is he actually hurt? Is he just hurt for that contract extension? But at the same time, like they gave him the extension recently, right? And this is your time to I feel like last year you did fine. Like you stepped up enough, but I still feel like it's not like well outperforming your contract. It's not like he put up massive numbers. He had one or two massive games, and like this is your time to prove right now. Like you could be a true wide receiver 1 or 2. Like if you could prove to be a great 2, you're still going to get paid, right? But this is your year to prove what you can do. That going into the year that you are a starter. Show the team what you can do. Like I feel like he's saying like, oh yeah, I know I'm not that good. I need to get paid right now. Like before they could see me. Like that's what this feels like.
I think it's bold. I think he's hurt. Also, he wants a new contract, so he's not rushing it in any way. But I think what you're talking about is exactly what the 49ers are banking on, because Tim Kawakami reported that they have no interest in giving him any more money. So they're not going to do it. And look, they're not spending money on wide receivers. Amari Cooper is out there and they're bringing in dudes like Quintez Cephas at wide receiver, and Malik Turner. Like they're not spending money on wide receiver. And I think the Niners know ultimately when it comes time for the regular season, Juwan is a gamer, but also he has to prove to other teams that he's worth a bag because he's going to be a free agent. And 1 year of less than 1,000 yards receiving when you've done nothing else in your career to that point is not going to get him a bag. So I think the Niners are just banking on he doesn't have any other options.
I don't get why he would even want to get paid this year. Like you're going to get a slight upgrade of what you got last time, 2 years, where you're making, what was it fully? 2 years, $11 million or whatever it was. You're going to be a free agent after this year. Like this is actually the time you really, really, really need to bet on yourself, because no matter what, if they give you a contract extension right now, it'd be maybe for $10 million a year, right? They up it. $10 million a year. That's still very low compared to other wide receivers. If you go out there and prove you can be a wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 for a team, and then you hit free agency where every team can talk to you, you are going to look at Gabe Davis. He made so much money. Like, why would you even want to get paid this offseason? Play out this year and prove that you're worth it. And even if you're not, I feel like you're not losing out on that much money. Like you're not going to get that much of a contract this year. It just, why would you not want to hit? Like, this is what normal players dream of, hitting free agency and getting this shot to prove that they're worth this money. I don't know. This is all silly to me.
Players like to get the bag when they can because it reduces risk and uncertainty, but you're already in your contract year. So you got more money last year, by the way, and you've already sort of taken on a lot of the risk that scares a lot of people off. I kind of agree with you. Like, at this point, just go out there and ball out and you're going to get a lot more money. The wide receiver market is crazy right now. And there's also a lot of teams around the league that run the Shanahan system. So even though Juwan Jennings might not work in every system, there's going to be a lot of coaches out there that are be like, we can use him exactly the same way the 49ers use him. So we know he can do it. We know that we'll get value for this money. So I think eventually he's going to be out there. It'll be Pearsall. It'll be Juwan until Brandon Ayuk comes back. And even then, they'll probably ease him in. I wouldn't expect much of anything really this year from Brandon Ayuk. But that's what I think was ultimately going to happen. This is going to be the Pearsall year. He's going to be wide receiver 1, and maybe he stinks and they go down with the ship. But I think that's the plan right now.
And it has to be. That's the only correct plan to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to win or lose with this guy. I mean, but also at the same time, remembering that George Kittle should still be your top target. Like, he should not be seeing under 100 targets this year. It should be 120 plus, with Pearsall around that area too. Juwan Jennings getting around 80 to 90, being that good, like, third down guy that you can depend on. Christian McCaffrey getting his typical, 80 plus targets. That's a good core right there. But it does depend on Pearsall taking that step forward and being a viable wide receiver 1 that can get open. But he can't struggle any more than Deebo Samuel did to get open. Like, I have way more trust in Pearsall to get open for Brock Purdy than Deebo Samuel. So, like, let's go. Let's see it.
And I hope that we do. But you're right. Kittle is option 1. He's not wide receiver 1 because he's not a wide receiver, but he's your number 1 receiving option. And that should never be forgotten, no matter what happens with Ricky Pearsall this season. That's going to do it for this edition of the show. Thank you, everybody. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I promise you, if you come back, give us a chance, you will like what you hear and you will be a better, smarter fan. Michelle, what do you have going on this weekend?
So I am doing the most embarrassing thing on Sunday. I'm going to trivia so I watch Vanderpump Rules, and one of the guys from Vanderpump Rules, Tom Schwartz, is hosting trivia. So I'm going to that on Sunday. I'm very, very excited.
That's not embarrassing. That's awesome. Why are you embarrassed?
Well, because if you knew who Tom Schwartz was in the show, it's a little embarrassing, but it's fine.
I get it. I went to a Smallville convention in New Jersey to meet the actors from Smallville, and I loved it. What are you giggling about? What are you chortling at? What is so funny?
Oh, nothing. Just you being a big Smallville fan. I didn't know this about you, and you going to the convention is hilarious.
Here's with me and the cast of Smallville and my friend
from Dean from Gilmore Girls.
No,
yeah,
no, this is Dean from Gilmore Girls.
Is the main character?
I don't think so.
Yes,
Tom Welling was not in Gilmore Girls.
The one of the main, no, his brother.
Who's brother?
I don't know. The other main guy was Dean from Gilmore Girls.
Anyway, I went. It was phenomenal. We got to meet them. I got the picture with them. There's nothing embarrassing about that. I'm 40 years old. I'm too old to be embarrassed about the things that I like.
No,
I've been to Comic-Con multiple times. It's phenomenal.
Oh, he was in Supernatural.
Yeah.
What is Smallville?
Smallville's about Superman before he becomes Superman. It's old now.
Oh, you know what? I thought you were talking about Supernatural. Sorry. That's what I was laughing and giggling so hard.
Supernatural's cool too. In fact, I would go to meet Jensen Ackles. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think Comic-Con's cool for people who like that stuff. It's just funny that Smallville was just a really random thing you brought up. So it was just very funny.
Hey, if you got a chance to meet the TV people, I say go for it. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. I hope you have fun at Trivia, Michelle. I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm going to wish you well because I am the bigger person.
I need some fun because Kelly Clarkson made me sad.
Yeah, that's understandable, but that is a bit of a bummer. Anyway, Thank you for watching, everybody. Like this video. Cheers, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.